What is crack-a-lackin', fellow thermonuclear AFers? I am Dan Favale, coming at you with my certified fantabulous co-host Grant Hughes. We are doing an episode where we're going to draft teams of the best underpaid players we believe are underpaid in the NBA. So we're not trying to assemble strictly the most underpaid players in the league. It's who's underpaid and then who are the best players from that group. And so Grant and I have our own docs, big boards. We're going to go through it, see who has the better team. And then, of course, we will get to some stat padding. Sans guess a player for this episode that we'll be releasing on Monday. I don't know when you'll be listening to it, but it'll be December. So welcome to December.
Hey.
The usual reminder, please rate, review, subscribe, hit the sub button on YouTube, comment, help the algo, love us back. Ratings, reviews on Apple, do a ton. Rate on Spotify. I don't care if you don't use them. Juice the numbers. Let's get us to 500 ratings on each. We'd appreciate it. Socials, as always, on the screen or in the description. And join our Discord. So much good shit happens in Discord. Very lively in there this time of year. Link is in the description. Grant, how the heck are you doing?
I'm feeling underpaid.
Nice.
I think that's what we should talk about. I'm excited for this. We've been sitting on this one for a while, and I mostly forgot the players that I had listed. And as I'm going through my my positions, I'm very excited to see what you do. And also how to counter that. Question for you though, before we go any farther. I'm viewing underpaid players based on their salaries for this season alone and not like the length of their contracts. Is that how you're approaching this?
Yes. So
Terrific.
I approached it the same way. I think we actually, I don't know if we touched base before we actually did this, but I think we ended up doing it the same. I also did not include anyone who's on a first contract. I don't care if they're technically a second rounder. I also stayed away from just if these were, I call them Sam Presti or Sam Hinkie specials. Staying away from just like the Isaiah Joes specifically, or Eric Gordon is on a minimum contract. That's not a Sam Presti special, but he is like just the 1 year minimum guys. I did not include them either because I just feel like that gets a little too, what have you. So
yeah, I mostly, as I'm looking through, I think I have one or two guys on minimums here that I just won't pick, but no minimums, no maxes, because you could obviously make the case that Jokic is underpaid or whatever, and no rookie scale deals. Those are the ones I left out. So these are contracts that have, been signed by players outside of their rookie deals, outside of a max deal, and I'm going to stay away from minimums so you can hold me accountable on that one too.
So yeah, we'll do this. I have it updating. It's a little troubleshooting it right now. Stick with us though, so you can see on the screen. I will update. Hopefully I have all the players that I need. But if I don't, it might take a while to appear on the screen, but we could go through them. We can also talk about, I guess it would help if I had the document open, where I kept all this stuff, but, we'll talk about, what is the player making? Just like Grant said, just this season alone. And then it's, we'll contextualize it. I have it for most of my players. I don't know if you have it. And I think we'll end up with a lot of the same players, but what is their percentage of the salary cap that they're making? And so the goal is just to make we'll have a starting lineup. And then how many reserves did I give us? 6 reserves. So I guess just an 11-man rotation. I didn't want to do 12. So we'll try and build, or we can get a 12th and I'll throw it up on the screen as we get there. But, or just 10, go straight out 10, but let's just see where we end up with this. And I guess you should get the first pick.
Oh man. Okay. So we gotta play the game here because there's some positional scarcity that we got to address. And I think the point guard spot is where I feel there are the fewest good options here. I just don't want to take this guy because the underpaid part, I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to take Jalen Brunson. And so that's a big contract. That's 26. I think that might be the biggest contract I have on here. That's 26.4 million, according to what I looked up. I don't have the percentage of the cap, but that's got to be I don't know, in the high teens at least.
So Jalen Brunson is making 19.37% of this year's salary cap.
All right. I need Jalen Brunson because I do not like any of the other lead guards here.
Wow. I'm like a little bit upset, but I kind of get it. So let's throw him up on yours. Does that work? He is not showing up. This is awesome that this is happening. Let me just tell you that this is dope.
I
So
gotta look up
oh
where
wait,
he.
did it come up? I just maybe can't see. Oh yeah,
Yep,
he's right.
yep, I got it. He's there.
Okay, so ooh, all right. I'm a little bit annoyed because he was probably going to be my first pick here too.
Oh, good.
Am I going to go with positional scarcity or am I just going to take? No, I'm already going to be. I feel like I'm already going to be fucked from the point of attack. So let's go. I'll use my first pick on Mikal Bridges, who is
That
making
is a great pick.
21.7 million this season, which is 15.9% of the salary cap.
All right, so I wanted to look up while you're populating Bridges picture there, just where Brunson ranks among. All right, Brunson's the 16th highest paid point guard, so that's. Gosh, there's some other guys now that I see him there. Like, all right, okay, so I would like to. You tell me to slow down if you need me to slow down. Oh, there he is.
I mean,
Okay.
we can keep going and I'll put it up on the screen if you want to explain it a little bit. I mean, like Mikal Bridges is going to have to operate. I might move him to a guard spot. He might have to operate from the point of attack, just going through my, the guys who can create are just not necessarily normally underpaid. I guess there are a few. Now that you have Brunson, I don't expect you to take them. And
Right.
That's how I'm galaxy braining.
You're gonna no. That's the right approach. You're gonna get your pick of whoever else you want in the backcourt, probably. Okay, I gotta go. OG Anunoby. So
no,
he's making 18.6, which is about 3 million less than Bridges. Not nearly the offensive player, but I have my lead guard as it is. So I'm just gonna get the most versatile defender on the board here. And you can call him, put him at either front court or forward spot, and I feel good about that.
Yeah, so I just made it 3 front court in case you wanted to play small. So yeah, I'll put him in
which I think I'm not saying I will yet for sure. There's some centers that I like, but yeah, that's.
So you took the first. I mean, Mikal Bridges was. I didn't make a big board per se, but he would have been like first on. Would have been in the top 3. Would have been OG, Jalen Brunson, and Mikal Bridges, and you took 2 of the guys that I wanted. Benefits of having the first pick.
It's almost like we talk to each other for hours and hours every week, and we think the same way.
OG Anunoby, by the way, makes 13.71% of the salary cap, which is why he is not signed an extension.
Yeah,
that's just like the 140% number is just that's not happening. This player who I'm about to pick, though, and he's been so great when healthy this season. And now I'm really if I'm not gonna, kind of juice the point of attack offense with their traditional point of attack guy, I think he becomes mission critical to this. I'm not even going to reveal his name. I'm just going to refresh it on the screen and see if
I already know who it is.
Did you?
Got obviously.
Larry Markkinen, 12.69% of the salary cap this year. He's remained hyper efficient in his role. He's not doing a ton more self-creation stuff, but the fact that the Jazz they have Keontae George, but they spent so much of the season without a quality lead guard that he's been as good as he is. That's just absolutely monstrous.
All right, I got a couple ways I can go here. You have exhausted my bolded wing/forwards by taking Markkinen. There's nobody else I love in that category, so I think I got to do it. He's been hurt, but I think I got to go Nick Claxton.
I knew you were going to do this. I'm
$8.7 million this year.
Do you want to know how much of the salary cap that is?
It was like 5%.
It's 7.8 up 7 point. It's not even 7.1%, 7.08.
Yeah, had to do it. There's some other good centers, but that's just like, I mean,
I will say, I was about to say, I don't know that I love your floor spacing setup at the moment, but Jalen Brunson, which is why he was so high on my theoretical board, has turned into, and this is not like a joke, just one of the best off the dribble 3-point shooters in the league right now.
Yeah, and Anunoby is a 40% shooter. He can't do anything with the ball, but he'll space just fine. My defense is. Well, Brunson's not a great defender, so I mean, I've taken care of that. So we're gonna find some scoring later.
I'm like, do I have to go with the point of attack stuff right now, or I feel like I'm just gonna continue to load up on these guys that can do a bunch of different things. But I do also feel like I might end up regretting this pick. Oh no, am I gonna do it? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Is it? I feel like I'm actually curious whether this person is going to be on your list. I'm going to go with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
Of course he's on my list. Of course he's on my list.
10.81% of the salary cap. Just a solid glue guy. And as of right now, again, like my self-creation, I have Bridges. It's not really, a ton of like that juice there. I need to just go with guys that I think can fill gaps, or he can do some stuff with the ball, or at least is just going to make a bunch of threes to make it worthwhile. So my sort of like 2, 3, 4 spots right now, I'm very happy with.
God, I hate that. He makes perfect sense on my team, and now I can't have him. So the question now is, do I just lose my mind and just try to get a team that's going to allow 65 points a game, or do I care about shooting? That's a toughie.
I wonder who you have Nick Claxton already, so you're not bereft of defense per se.
No, I have Claxton and Anunoby. That's the thing, is like I could go get another elite defender right now. Or
I'm not. I'm just gonna let you know I'm not gonna get over you getting both Brunson and Anunoby. I just don't think that's gonna be something that dissipates for me.
All right, I'm stalling because I honestly am not sure what I want to do here. Okay, you know what? The spacing is going to be terrible. I'm going to take Aaron Gordon.
Ooh,
my front court is enormous. He makes 21 million, so I got two guys over the 20 million mark. So I already.
Well, again, I think it's important. Some people be like, well, Aaron Gordon at 21 million. That's 16.37% of the salary cap. And I'm trying to track it as we go to see, okay, like what percent of the salary cap do you take? We're not trying to stay under 100 because good teams go over the salary cap anyway. So I'm just curious who ends up with the lower percentage, like the lowest percentage of it. So we'll try and track that. But so are you? Yeah. All right. Anunoby is a shooter. Nick Claxton is not, has some balls. Yeah. Your spacing's a little.
My spacing's hurting right now.
Yeah. I mean, you're like really banking on the Jalen Brunson off the dribble 3-point development being for real.
Yeah. The offense is going to be a struggle, especially because guys who can really score and shoot do not tend to be underpaid. So there's not like a huge supply left of those types of guys. KCP would have been the perfect shooting guard, but you took him because you're a monster.
Yeah, I'm like starting to worry about my lack of creation though, but I don't necessarily want. I'm like thinking about, do I need to get Derek White just to run my point guard stuff? I don't want to take this player, so I'm not gonna. Do I like fill out a bench role right now? That's what I'm contemplating doing. Do I get a big man? All right, so I'm gonna go with this just because I think that this is legitimately this is someone who is on. Potentially, I won't guarantee it, but he might be on the best contract in the NBA. He's making 9.59% of the salary cap this year. Would you care to venture a guess as to who it is?
I'm going to need the raw number because I'm still bad at converting.
I can't do it because I feel like you're just going to get it, but I'll give you the raw number. 13.1 million. I'm rounding up.
13.1. I don't know. You're going to have to just take him.
It is Mr. I'm just going to refresh it. I like the reveal. Wendell Carter Jr.
Yeah. You get some spacing there too. Your team can space it. You got 5 guys that can shoot.
My starting 5 right now is Wendell Carter Jr., Lowry Markkanen, Mikal Bridges, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope.
That's nice. Okay, so I promise I was gonna take this guy at some point before you mentioned his name, but I have to do it now, and that is Derek White. He's going to be the other backcourt player with Jalen Brunson. He gets some shooting there. He can guard the best guard. How good is my defense? We're taking some very different approaches to our team.
You've decided to. I mean, I wouldn't call Derek White. I'm saying this like it's spicy. I wouldn't call him a non-shooter. He's not a non-shooter, but your spacing is just like, one of these guys might need to move to the bench for you.
Hey, we'll see what happens. We'll see how it shakes out.
Also, I'm just going to say the Derek White headshot pick, it's just very jarring for me at the moment because he doesn't have his trademark haircut.
He looks like a totally different person having shaved his head this year. He's a different player.
So let's refresh your team here. I'm just going to get over. I don't care about formatting them anymore because this is why we need a freaking producer.
Well, so I don't think I said it, 17.5 million. So another guy who's debatably, I'm not down on the sub 10s like you are. He's underpaid in my mind, but like that's the decent chunk.
13.5% of the salary cap though is pretty wild. I'm wondering. So I'm thinking about doing something that might be fairly stupid. but it also might be like super awesome because I'm like, I might move it around. So I'm just going to take this guy because I want my defense to just slaughter is basically what it is. I want to have like a really good playmaking defense. He doesn't bring facilitation, which is why enough facilitation, I'll say, which is why I might bring him off the bench depending on who becomes available later, but he's making 6.9.5, so under 7% of the salary cap, which is just outrageous. He has made an all defensive team. He's going to force turnovers like whoa. He can anchor the defense just from the point of attack as a perimeter guy. You're going to get mad because he will invariably not take enough threes.
Yeah.
It is Mr. Alex Caruso.
Had to do it. That's a great pick. I couldn't take him because I need someone who can score. Yeah, good. That's the correct pick. I feel like $9.4 million. God, he's going to get the Bulls a first rounder at least. All right. So the hunt for shooting begins in a serious way now here. Oh, okay. Let's see. I think I got to go.
Do it.
I think I'm going to go Grant Williams, 12.4 million.
Ooh, okay.
He can just hang out in the corner and he can guard 4s or 5s. He's a little duplicative really with Gordon, but I think I got to do that. I think I got to take Grant Williams.
He is making, and this is on his new contract, by the way, which is why it's just even more wild. What does he have? About 12.4?
Mm-hmm.
That is 9.12% of the salary cap, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I still have, I'm having some real problems here. I'm not going to lie about who to take next. I just want to keep loading up on really good players, but I don't know if they like necessarily fit my team. Now I have, you know what? I just have to take this person because he's still on the board, and I'm actually kind of shocked you just, especially with the way that you're building out your team, that you didn't take him. I'm going to go with Herb Jones. Just like oh, what'd you say? Sorry.
No, I was going to say, like, that's who I was sort of thinking of when I was like, oh, should I just get another ridiculous defender next to Brunson? But yeah, that's a good pick for you because you've got enough scoring to handle him.
Yeah, and I mean, like, look, he's done some on-ball work this year. And so I'm just saying that Herb Jones might be our point guard at stretches. We'll space the floor around him and have him run some pick and rolls. So we'll do that.
All right. I think I need to go. I'm on the hunt for shooting. I got to go Austin Reeves because now that he's a reserve again, which is what he'll play for my team, I think I can trust that 60+ true shooting percentage as long as he's coming off the bench.
So fun note, this is the first one. So I'll give myself a little bit pat on the back. And I thought about adding him while I was making the
am I getting screwed because of the poison pill for this year? Or
he's not poison pill.
Not poison pill. You know what I mean though, right? Is his first year salary like ridiculous?
His first year salary is not ridiculous. I just don't have his number pull up because I didn't include him on my list. So what is he making?
I think he's making 12.
Yeah, I mean, like that's very low percentage of the salary cap. So I guess I didn't, because when I initially made my list, I added some players before we went on today. He was playing so poorly that I was kind of like, oh, okay, is he actually underpaid anymore? So now I need to get his salary.
Yeah, it's 12 million this year, which is 8.8% of the cap.
Yeah, 8.83. I mean, I would still say he's underpaid, especially the way that he's been playing. So like lately coming off the bench. So I think that's fair, even though I did not have him. All right. So I think I need to go with someone who's going to create for me. I'm very tempted to just go with like sort of another glue-ish type guy, but I'm going to take, do I do it? I guess my one question is, has he been good enough this year for me to do it? And because he's not been hitting his threes, I'm going to do it anyway. Am I going to do it anyways? I don't know what to do here. I was thinking Tyus Jones is the name I'm thinking of.
Okay.
But I'm
not on my list. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for how smart.
I'm actually thinking about Malik Monk as well. Like, do I trust him to? No, you know what? Let's do this. We're going to keep in theme of I'm just punting on primary playmaking, but this person does play a primary playmaking spot. I'm going to go with Javon Carter.
I like it.
4.55% of the salary cap. will just shoot 1,000,000,000% from three. Again, more defense, just not enough creation. I need to. My creators right now are who's my best creator is Mikal Bridges. Who's my second best creator on this team?
I mean, I guess is it like creating his own shot? Is it Markkanen?
Well, I meant like for others. Is
I
it
don't know
probably
if you
Devon
have one.
Carter, which is the problem?
you're, you're a little short in that category.
But yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. Hashtag no regrets.
All right. I am going to take someone who I have already said several times should be the quintessential example of a player who fits on literally any team. Actually, you have that guy because that's KCP. But I'm going to take DeAnthony Melton, who makes $8 million
Great
this
pick.
year. Can get you the percentage of the cap on that.
I have it. It's 5.88%. Austin Reeves is the only player you've selected that I didn't have on my list. So that's either good or bad, depending on how we.
Hard to say.
5.88% of the salary cap. That's absolutely wild for DeAnthony Melton. I actually wondering. I kind of want to take. He's a relatively expensive player, but he's still. So I limited my. I know you didn't necessarily do it this way. I limited my selections to players who are making under 20% of the salary cap, and like that was my reasoning to go with like who's underpaid. He doesn't address like my most glaring need, which is the creation for others at this point. But I might do it anyway. Or I'm curious as to whether you think I'm going to take him just because I want to know if you believe he's actually underpaid. Jaren Jackson Jr. 19.93% of the salary cap. So just a hair under 20%.
I mean, you could argue that's the best pick of the draft. It's certainly where you got him, but because I just was looking at his number and I was like, is that, if this was like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I probably would have taken him like right after Brunson or maybe before him, but then it's like, oh, he's not playing well. No, I mean, like, is he the best player on here? Like I mean, he's close to it. I guess Bridges probably is the best player, but
I mean, Larry Markkanen has his own case for that too.
Yeah, I mean, your team, if as long as you don't catch a bunch of heat for taking a guy making 27, which you shouldn't because I took Brunson at 26.
Yeah, and that's comparable. Brunson was 19.4%. He's about 19.9%, so it's close. But I have two players making over 15% of this. Oh, we both have two players making over 15% of the salary cap.
What do I have? Gordon that makes 20 something million.
Yeah, so we have two players each that make over 15% of the salary cap. It'll be interesting to see who ends up like using less money overall. Yeah. So we have 4 picks left each.
All right. I think I'm a little thin, so I'm gonna go Mitchell Robinson, who's making 15.6, which is comfortably on what about like 12% of the cap.
Mitchell Robinson is making 11.5% of the salary cap. Do you remember when he first signed his deal? And maybe we didn't know at the time that it was de-escalating, but I'm sure even after the fact, we were just like, why would you pay that much for a center who's so limited on offense? And now he was just drafted as one of the best contracts.
Underpaid.
The most underpaid players in the league. How's that for, life? How's that for life coming at you fast?
Yeah. I mean, it was apparent like almost immediately last year that was a good contract. And the corollary was that Isaiah Hartenstein's contract, which we were both crowing over what a bargain that was, it was just like fine. It wasn't the bargain it seemed to be. Mitchell Robinson was the bargain.
So we talk about how I don't have self-creation or table setting is the way, or playmaking for others. I'm about to get it for the low bargain bin cost of 6.8% of the salary cap. I'm taking Kyle Anderson.
Yeah. That's a good one. 9.2 million.
He's cheap, and he's still working out in Minnesota despite just like they have Naz Reid and Cat and Rudy Gobert. And I honestly, that was one of the things I asked Kyle Tighe about when we were doing the Wolves look ahead, was what would his role end up looking like on this team. And we had identified him as a trade candidate just because of his contract situation. Now it's just like, no, Kyle Anderson's just going to keep doing Kyle Anderson things.
Now I'm torn a little bit here because I got my backup center. I don't know that I have. I guess Derek White's kind of my backup point guard. I maybe could use. I think I need a wing here. I think I need another wing. So I'm gonna go. Oh man, he's not playing that well. I was gonna say Finney Smith, but like he's not having that great
He's
a
been
year.
playing well enough on offense, right?
Yeah, but his defense, I think, has slipped a little. Okay, I think I'm gonna. I got to take Malik Monk. 9.9 million. I just want some. I want some shooting and a spark plug in case Austin Reeves is actually not good for my hypothetical made up underpaid team.
Malik Monk is making 7.3% of the salary cap. That deal's a freaking highway robbery for Sacramento. And he has great chemistry with Sabonis, obviously, but just his decision making on drives since he's been in Sacramento has been infinite pluses. Basically.
Yeah, I mean they trust him. I mean he gets a little wild. That's just part. That's as much a feature as a bug because he just is capable of any kind of shot. But like they trust him to run pick and rolls. They and can get a 3 off against anybody. He can't go left, but the league doesn't seem to know that. I'll take him as my 9th guy, 10th guy. That'll work.
That is your 9th guy because you have 2 picks. I'm just laughing at how I made this 11 picks. I mean, we could take the bonus. We could take a bonus guy.
We'll do a bonus one.
All right, so let's throw Monk up there. This is getting harder and harder for me to decide. There are like many guys that I just want to take because I feel like I should take them. Caleb Martin's not had a good start to the year. I'm just taking this guy because the number is so low that the value and just as connective tissue on a team that apparently is, I mean, to be fair, there was one primary table setter basically on the board. There's another one. I'm just not sure that I want to take him just yet. I'm going to go with Kenrich Williams, 4.5% of the salary cap. How about that for a bargain?
He was not on my board, and that's inexcusable.
Was he? He really wasn't? Wow.
Yeah, I
didn't have Austin Reeves though, so.
All right. So is this my last pick, or we're gonna do a bonus one?
Well, you have 2. You have 3 then. So.
Oh no. Well, let's just do 2 more here because it's getting a little thin.
Oh no, wait! I did include 12. So we have 2. I did include 12. I just miscounted So I am not as big of an idiot as I thought, but I'm an idiot for not noticing sooner that I did include 12 players. So.
All right. I think I'm gonna go. Let's see. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it because he can play every position and he's untradeable because he's so good. I think I'm going to take Terrence Mann, 10.6 million.
Did you say Terrence Mann can play every position?
Yeah, every
position? including center?
All of them. That's what the Clippers think.
I mean, that's a choice. It's a good pick. I
hate it already.
Do you?
Yeah, it's too late. I can't take it back.
Look, if it's any consolation, he would be the best point guard on my list.
There's a better value on his own team that I have in bold that I've passed over for this entire draft.
Wait, on his own team?
Yeah.
Who am I not forgetting about? Who am I not thinking of on the
I'll undo Terrence Mann and take this other guy if you'll let me right now.
That's all right. I don't want to let you because I don't have his headshot. But yeah, you can undo it if you want.
No, because you should take the guy I'm talking about. So I'm gonna keep Terrence Mann.
Is it a point guard?
Yeah.
It's not Russ.
Yeah, it is. 3.8 million. You need that guy. Look at
he's on a minimum. I said no minimum guys.
Oh, that's right. It was such a high number. I didn't even think it was a minimum. You're right. I'll let you take him.
He's been in the league for like 8 million years. I was like, what is he like? And also, I don't even know. I mean, the contract, yeah, for the value, sure, but let's not go wild here.
I mean, you can bring him off the bench now. He's cool with that. So that's a value add.
So I'm going to go this route, and I think some people might believe. I mean, this season because he signed an extension, I think he would certainly be underpaid this season. I'm going to go with DeJounte Murray. He's at 17.7, and that's 13.4% of the salary cap. I should probably bump him into my starting lineup for Alex Caruso.
He's got to start for you for sure.
So
your team just got totally been remade now because you can go Murray, KCP, Bridges, Markkanen, Carter. That's pretty nasty. That's a good.
Is that so? Yeah, and I made a starting lineup change in the 11th pick of a 12-person draft.
Well, and I mean, you could probably start Jaren Jackson over Wendell Carter if we're going to get all the way down to it.
You know what? I care about rebounding for the moment.
That's what I've always said about you. You care about rebounding. Okay, so this is my last pick. I'm not in love with anybody here. But I think, how many centers do I have? 2, I guess 3 if you count Grant Williams as small ball. I really want to take GP2 just because I don't have a Warrior yet. That's really the end of that
That's so
logic.
your team is good, is what you're saying.
No, we already discussed on another pod how GP2 is positive in plus minus, or better than Steph, even better. You heard it here. GP2 is better than Steph Curry. I will go with I'm just going to do it because you can never have too many of them. I'm going to take Dorian Finney-Smith as my last pick. 13.4 million. What's he shooting this year?
He was at like 38%, I thought.
Oh, he's shooting 44% from 3. What a steal.
Hey, you were the one that said he wasn't playing well enough to take him before.
I think his defense has slipped, but he's averaging double figures, 5.5 boards. He's 30. He's not done yet.
Well, no, he's not done by any stretch. I'm making changes to my team more. So let me get Dorian Finney-Smith up for you. He's also shooting, well, he was shooting last time I checked, over 50% on a higher volume of drives per game. And so if you had any spacing on your team, you'd be able to take advantage of that.
If I did.
I guess I don't hate the spacing on your team. I look like you did get Monk. Man is fine there. Mitchell Robinson's obviously a floor spacer.
The Gordon Claxton 4-5, while it has its bonuses, is not going to space the floor very well.
I mean, your front court defensively, though. I mean, just your 4-man combination around Brunson defensively, where you have, I guess it would help if I refreshed you putting Dorian Finney-Smith on your board so everyone could see what your full team looks like, your full collection of players. That's some nasty defense in the starting five.
I should have taken GP2 to start him instead of Brunson if I would just want 5 menacing defenders on the floor at the same time, but I didn't do that.
So you took Dorian Finney-Smith is barely 10% of the salary cap, by the way, 10.2%. That's sort of wild. I don't know who to take with my last pick. There's too many like good options here. You took Dorian Finney-Smith. I don't need to take Tyus or Trae Jones, both of whom were on my list. I don't want to leave, but I just feel like, how many bigs do I have? I got Wendell. I moved Jaren Jackson Jr. into my starting 5 next to Larry Markkinen. Like, can I fit this guy? Do I have enough wings on this roster? Kenrich Williams. No, I can't believe I'm like mad that Naz Reid is just sitting on the board. And so I feel like I should take him, but let me just see if there's anyone else that I want.
You're going to leave Draymond Green and his $22 million salary just
He did not make my list. I'm thinking about Matisse Thybulle right now, 7.7%. Do I just say fuck it? Yeah, I'm going to say fuck it. Naz Reid fits everywhere. So Naz Reid fits on my team. So let me throw him up there. Then we'll do the calculation. Do you want to recap your team, vamp a little bit on who made for the people who are listening at home?
Yeah. All right. So I don't remember the order they went in, but right now my starting 5 is going to be Jalen Brunson, Derek White, OG Anunoby, Aaron Gordon, and Nick Claxton. Coming off the bench, probably the first 2 off the bench will be Austin Reeves and Grant Williams. We got DeAnthony Melton. We got Mitchell Robinson for offensive boards as a backup 5. We got Malik Monk he might be another 6-man type. And Terrence Mann, hate that pick still. Shouldn't have done that. And Dorian Finney-Smith rounded out the draft. You want me to do yours, or are you ready to speak?
I can do mine. So I believe, all of them should be up there. I have my starting lineup is DeJounte Murray, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Mikal Bridges, Larry Markkinen, Jaren Jackson Jr. Then I have coming off the bench, Herb Jones, Javon Carter, Wendell Carter Jr., Kyle Anderson, Alex Caruso, Kenrich Williams, and Naz Reid, just because I could, essentially. I just feel like he shouldn't have lasted that long. Shame on us. So let's see whose team technically earns a larger percentage of the salary cap. So your team makes 130.7% of the salary cap.
So am I in the second apron? I feel like I'm in trouble.
Mine makes 123.5%.
Oh, your team is just looking at your starting 5. I think you got me here. Your starting 5 is really good, and it's cheaper altogether. So
for anyone who's now watching at home or listening, let us know who you think has the better team: Dan's all-underpaid team or Grant's all-underpaid team. We would always Appreciate that. So we can now get to our regular scheduled, what would we call it? Just stat padding. Oh wait, I need to play the
Yeah, play the
thing.
song.
I'm not gonna lie. I know I can multitask. We've pointed this out before. I'm doing too much this episode. So it's stat padding. Well, I get a set back up on the screen. Do you wanna kick us off with things? Oh, we're all set up on the screen. We're good to go.
Yeah, I got one for you. All right. It's a simple, you have a 50% chance for each of these. I would like, Dan, for you to tell me who had his shot blocked most last season.
Oh.
Joel Embiid or Jalen Green?
Jalen Green.
That's correct. Jalen Green had his shot blocked more than any other human being that played in the NBA last year. That's a fun fact. Good job by you.
2022-2023 Rockets.
Yeah, you're 1 for 1. RJ Barrett, near and dear to your heart, or SGA, who had his shot blocked more?
I'm gonna say, just because he gets to the basket so much, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Your process is impeccable. You are correct. It is SGA. Jaden Ivey or Trae Young?
Jaden Ivey.
Correct. Can't block a floater. Giannis Antetokounmpo or Jordan Poole?
I mean, I feel like I should go with Giannis. I'm gonna say Jordan Poole, though.
You should have gone with your gut, Dan. It is Giannis. He had his shot blocked more than Jordan Poole last year. That is
Which makes sense because he's at the basket so often. I should have went with Giannis.
Anthony Davis or Fred VanVleet?
I'm gonna say Anthony Davis because Fred VanVleet never gets to the basket.
You are correct. It is Anthony Davis. Good job. 4 out of 5, I think, by you. And I was trying to deliberately trick you on at least 3 of them.
Do you want to go? Why don't we go through all yours, then we can go through all mine?
All right.
Do this.
Dan, again, this is a stat from last year. I would like you to rank these players in the order of most offensive fouls committed last year. Domantas Sabonis, Zach Collins, Rudy Gobert, and Giannis.
Rank them in order of who. So Zach Collins, Rudy Gobert, Giannis, and
Sabonis.
I'm gonna say Zach Collins is 4.
That's incorrect. He's 3.
Okay, so Zach Collins is 3. Rudy Gobert is 4.
Rudy Gobert is 4.
Okay, Zach Collins is 3. Giannis and Sabonis. I'm gonna say Sabonis at 2, Giannis at 1.
Correct. Giannis had the most offensive fouls of this group, then Sabonis, then Zach Collins, then Rudy Gobert.
That was way too hard, and I now don't feel bad about one of the questions I'm going to give you because of that.
Great. I just invited a misery on myself. Okay, word association time, real quick. You ready, Dan? This takes all your brain cells. Rafer Alston.
And 1.
That's good. Al Harrington.
Weed.
I always remember him from on the left baseline. He would up fake on a 3 that he would never take and drive for a baseline dunk like once every 2 weeks when he was on the Warriors. That's my Al Harrington
Which
memory.
team do you associate with him most?
Probably Indiana.
I think it's Indiana, or why is Denver the one that pops into my mind so much for him?
I don't know.
Be there for a minute. I'm going to look at that.
I don't. Well, he was on the Knicks too, right?
Yeah, which you would think it would be Al Harrington. And he was there for a couple, maybe like a season and a half. He was in Denver for 64 games. And I'm like, all right.
So does it go Indiana first, then Golden State, then Denver?
Let's see. So the career games, he played 390 games for Indiana, 142 for Atlanta.
Oh, I forgot.
140 for the Knicks, 137 for Denver, 128 for the Warriors, 34 for the Wizards, and 10 for the Magic.
I do not remember the Magic era of Wendell Carter.
I don't remember him on the Wizards. I remember him on the Magic.
All right. Moving on with word association, Kemba Walker.
Oh my God. Mid-range game winner.
That's mine too. For the UConn, right? Like that is weird that's the first thing I think of with him is the greatest game-winning step back probably ever. Before a step back was a thing, really. That was a long time ago. Dirtiest play you can remember.
Ooh. I'm not going to include Malice at the Palace.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, oh man, I don't, in the one where like Shaq dunked and his balls are just in like Chris Dudley's face.
I mean, I don't know if that's a dirty play, but there's no wrong answers in word
Yeah, I guess
association.
the actual dirtiest one would be, I'm trying to think of that. Was it, who did Ron Artest just like elbow across the jaw? Was that James Harden in OK?
Yeah, there was a Harden elbow. That's a big one. The one that came to mind for me was Andrew Bynum taking JJ Barea out of the air in that playoff game. And then you could go back to like the Kermit Washington punch. Have you ever seen video of that? I don't even remember what year it was.
I think I have.
It's
There was
just like
also,
he
there was
almost
also,
killed him.
I hope I'm not reversing that. I think PJ Brown, when he was with the Heat, had like Charlie Ward or Chris Childs like upside down by his
Body
ankles or
slammed
something.
him. Yeah. That it's so funny. I don't remember if it was Childs or Ward either. Apparently, I feel like there was a rumor that Chris Childs could really fight. Like you did not want to mess with Chris Childs, even though he was.
I could see it. And
guard.
you also, I think it was from that same fight, the image of Jeff Van Gundy just clinging to, I think it's like Alonzo Mourning's leg or something. That was funny.
Off topic, but that's the point of this. You must have seen the video of I think it might be practice at Maryland when he was in college, when Steve Blake and a teammate, I think, like square up, and Steve Blake turns into like Oscar De La Hoya is just like just squares up, like his hands are up. He is so ready and I think he lands a couple shots. That's out there somewhere. It's probably in like standard definition because it's so old, but I always think of that when I think of basketball fights. All right. Impactful midseason trade.
Oh. Why am I? There's too many to choose from, and now my mind is just like spinning the wheels at the moment. Impactful mid-season trade. I don't freaking know. I'm at the point where my brain is just fried.
That's kind of also the point of word association. How about the first one I thought of was Rasheed Wallace to Boston, because kind of won him to Detroit. Kind of won him a championship or helped.
I just remember thinking this is too recent, but the James Harden trade, when that went down, I kind of just remember thinking at the time that there was the ball dominated. It felt like it was over.
Yeah. Clyde Drexler to the Rockets in their second championship of whatever it was, 94 and 95. That was a big one. Yeah, it was really Sheed. I just had a Rasheed Wallace thought while I was coming up with this, and that's right.
I remember thinking the Melo trade was going to be one of the most impactful ones of all time, and in a way, to New York, and in a way, it was.
Yeah.
But
well, there's a lot of those where you go the other way. Like you could say, like the Vucevic trade for Chicago was pretty impactful because it triggered the situation they're in now. Yeah,
it's interesting because trades need time to marinate, where you need to deal with the fall. But like the Magic benefited. Think about what came out of the Vooch trade for them.
Yeah. Right. I mean, that's hugely it set them up. Like you don't have Wagner. Like if
the other one too, because I remember like wondering whether it was the right move at the time, was the Marc Gasol to Toronto.
Oh
the year they won the title.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, I have that's it for word association. Mercifully for you,
I have 3 blocks. So why don't we, before we go back to you, I have 3 blocks of word association for you.
Oh boy. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. First block of 5. Overrated. Madonna.
Overrated. Why is this so hard? This is not a good sign that I can't think of someone that I think. Zach LaVine. How about that? It's on my mind.
Okay. Underrated.
Gary Payton II.
Isaiah Joe is the only correct answer. People forget he was a bucket.
Ooh, this is a great one. TJ Warren.
Ooh.
He was a bucket, man. For like a solid 2 years, I would say he was a bucket.
Hustle.
Alex Caruso.
Maniacally intelligent.
Ooh, maniacally intelligent. Okay. I mean, I think that's probably Chris Paul, just because nobody is more manipulative of the rules than he is. And he knows what he's doing. So I got to go there.
I think that's the right answer. Next block of 5. Swish.
Dirk Nowitzki.
Fast.
De'Aaron Fox.
Lob.
Blake Griffin.
In and out dribble.
Ooh. Jordan Poole. I just watched a highlight of him do that earlier today.
Skip pass.
LeBron.
Final block of 5. Underpaid.
This should be fresh in my mind. How about Russell Westbrook? Throw him a bone.
Oh, man.
Who's
Trade
like
demand.
can you think of someone? What about sorry to derail, but like who's like historically underpaid? Like who never? I'm trying to think of guys that were always like hugely valuable that never got maxed or whatever the equivalent would have been, that like won a bunch. I think you could go like, I don't know why Tony Parker comes to mind, but like if you're the point guard for a bunch of title winners, and I don't
Yeah.
know what he ever made, but it was never, he was never like, I don't think,
Do you
like
know who actually comes to mind for that for me?
who?
Kevon Looney.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yet we did not draft him in our all underpaid draft.
He was on my list, but yeah, we didn't draft him.
He was on my list too. Okay, continue.
Trade demand.
Dwight Howard. Remember that saga?
Yeah.
Because it like was, but it
like
wasn't.
8 times.
Yeah. Well, and the enduring image of that whole deal, that was like kind of pretty close to when I know we were both at Bleacher Report by then, but I mean, what year was that? Like 2012, 2011?
Yeah, it was 20. I think it was 20. I think it was 2011 and 2012.
Yeah,
And just
right.
that press conference with Stan Van Gundy drinking the Diet Pepsi.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Where he puts his arm around him. It's so awkward. Oh my God. I mean, we've seen, and that was, I feel like at the time that felt like such a big deal. And now it happens twice a year where it's like a superstar has asked out or it's close enough and then denies it. Or yeah, that's kind of like a toned down version of that's happening with Levine right now. It feels like.
Okay. So the third one, flight risk.
Flight risk.
Anyone who's a free agent for the Raptors. Let's move on.
Yeah. OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Gary Trent Jr., all of the Raptors. That's the correct answer. I'll steal that from you.
I'm surprised you didn't go James Harden for trade demand though. Like this era of basketball fans, he's going to just be the answer to everyone. I think.
Right. Yeah.
So 2 more on this one. Clutch.
Rich Paul. Sorry.
Choke.
Ooh. Draymond Green throwing the ball out of bounds against the Kings, up 1 with like 30 seconds left last night. Well, when this airs, it won't be last night, but everyone's going to remember.
God, recency bias is heavy on that one, huh?
It's just, it's the words I associate happen to are related to recent things.
Do you have any more?
I don't have any more word associations, but I have a couple other quick ones for you.
Sure.
All right. So one of these players does not belong. You're going to have to tell me who it is and why. Richard Jefferson, Channing Frye, James Harden, Mike Bibby.
Channing Frye, Richard Jefferson, Mike Bibby, and James Harden. Okay, so James Harden has I'm gonna say Mike Bibby. I'm gonna say Channing Frye because he never played for the Clippers.
Oh wow, interesting. That is not. I don't know if did Richard Jefferson.
I don't think Richard Jefferson played for the Clippers. Now that I think about it, but
no, I don't think so. No, if that's right, you've just
I'm wrong.
But... a different way. All right. So you want me to tell you, or do you want to take another crack at it?
Why are all those? Is it?
What if I told you James Harden doesn't belong?
Oh. So Richard Jefferson, Mike Bibby, and no, I got nothing.
Jefferson, this is kind of unfair.
So James Harden's the only active player? Is that what it is?
You know what? You're right. Jefferson, Frye, and Bibby went to Arizona. Harden went to Arizona State.
Oh, God. I never would have. If anyone got that, I hate you.
People in Discord, please tell Dan that somebody please have gotten that. Okay. What else do I have? All right. Another who doesn't belong. This is the one I referenced in a previous pod, sort of. So we have Mike Dunleavy Jr., JB Bickerstaff, Mike Malone, Steven Silas, and Ryan Saunders. Who does not belong?
Ryan Saunders, Steven Silas, Michael Malone, JB Bickerstaff.
And
Who's the
Mike
other one?
Dunleavy Jr.
Mike Dunleavy Jr. I'm gonna say. Can you read them again? There's too many.
Yeah, sorry. So they're Dunleavy, JB Bickerstaff, Michael Malone, Steven Silas, Ryan Saunders.
I'm gonna say. Oh my God! What you said the name Michael Malone because his dad neither coached nor played in the NBA.
No, his dad did coach. Brendan Malone was an NBA
Oh,
coach.
forgot about that. I got nothing. Hit me.
So Dunleavy's the only. They all have NBA dad coaches. Dunleavy is the only one to not also be a head coach in the NBA. Because you got
that. I should have gotten. Yeah. Okay.
it's really hard when you're on the other side of it and you're just having names read to you and you can't look at them.
Well, it's
That I
also
think is
because Mike Dunleavy coached,
right.
and I haven't. So it's just, yeah.
So that everybody has an NBA coach dad on this list, but Dunleavy's the only one who was also not a coach. All right.
I
Now
really do not feel bad about the one felt bad about giving you now. Just
all right. I have two more. This one, you just have to tell me what these people have in common. There's okay. Jameer Nelson, JJ Redick, Dwight Howard, Rashard Lewis, Hito Turkoglu.
they all played for the Magic.
What year? No, you're right. 0809 Magic, who made the finals. Okay, last one. What do these guys have in common? Kevin Durant, Marvin Bagley, James Wiseman, Brandon Miller.
Oh my God. Kevin Durant, Brandon Miller,
Marvin
James
Bagley, James Wiseman.
They were all number 2 picks.
Excellent job. That is correct. They're all number 2 picks. That's a tricky one.
I like it came to me, and the one that I got tripped up on was actually Durant, believe it or not.
Yeah, because you have to think, wait, who was ahead of him? Good job.
Have you emptied the clip?
I've emptied the clip.
You better strap in then because
boy,
I got stuff for you.
All right.
It's would you rather adjacent is this block of 5 or 6 or 7 questions.
Okay.
Would you rather, or let's frame it, who's the better player? Nikola Jokic with Giannis Antetokounmpo's defense or Joel Embiid with Tyrese Maxey's speed?
It's got to be, oh man, there's no wrong answer. I'm going to say Jokic with Giannis's defense because I feel like if Joel Embiid had Tyrese Maxey's speed, he would just like run through the basket standard twice a game or knock it over at least. We'd spend hours every game with guys on the ladder trying to readjust the rim and fix it. That's what
it would be interesting to see kind of Giannis's defense happening in slow motion with Jokic, though.
Yeah. Does that mean he would move like Giannis, or he's just like
just like the rim protection, being in the right spot, that type of thing?
Either way, okay. That's a fun one.
Who's the better player? Chet Holmgren with LeBron's strength or Victor Wembanyama with Kyrie Irving's handle?
Oh my God. Wemby with Kyrie's handle.
Honestly, I think it's Chet with LeBron's strength.
Well, hold on. If Wemby could get to literally any spot he wanted to, how do you defend him?
Still got to put the ball in the hole from the perimeter.
I think he gets right to the front of the rim if he has Kyrie's handle.
LeBron's strength can't get to anywhere on the floor.
That's true. Well, he would go in a straight line and then everyone would fall off of him, I guess. Pretty good players either way.
Who would be the better player? Cade Cunningham with the Boston Celtics' spacing or Jalen Brown on the current Detroit Pistons team?
Ooh. I mean, it has to be Cade just because he'd be set up.
I'm asking you.
It has to be. I don't think Jalen Brown is any better if he's on Detroit. I think he might score 30 a game, but he's not going to do it efficiently.
Okay. Oh man, I actually love these. Who's the better player? Luka Doncic with Anthony Edwards' defense or Anthony Edwards with Luka Doncic's vision?
I think it's got to be Luka, because if it's just Anthony Edwards with Luka's vision, he's still not as good. I think he's probably still not as good of an offensive player. And then I think it's Luka with some defense. I think that's what I got to say. Okay.
Your life's on the line. Life's on the line here. Which players' teams have the higher winning percentage in an elimination game? Jimmy Butler, James Harden, Damian Lillard, or Russell Westbrook?
I mean, there's such an obvious answer here, and I know it's bait, cue the Tom Hardy meme when you cut this up. I'm going to say Jimmy Butler.
That is incorrect. He actually has his teams have the lowest winning percentage in elimination games, 31.1%. James Harden's the correct answer at 39.1%.
So all this stuff about Harden being a playoff choker is fake news, then, is what you're telling me.
Okay, championship on the line. Would you rather rely on Trae Young to get a one-on-one defensive stop or Jalen Brown dribbling and scoring through a triple team with his left hand?
I am going to say Trae Young because he might get in the way and get knocked over, and then he might get a charge. Jalen Brown's not going anywhere, lefty. Can I say I got excited for a second when you started saying Trae Young? I was like, oh, I'll take Trae Young trying to get a bucket any day. And then, of course, that's not how this game works. Trae Young has to get a stop.
Okay, so this one might be my favorite. Would you rather have a version of Ja Morant who thinks he's Ben Simmons on defense or a version of Ben Simmons who thinks he's Ja Morant on offense?
I would 100% prefer to see Ben Simmons who thinks he's Ja Morant on offense, because I would just love to see what would happen. Like, what would that look like? It's like a pure curiosity perspective. Does that mean he's trying to dunk on guys from like outside the
and missing a lot of them? Yeah.
Line? Yeah. At least he's being aggressive, right? Isn't that the knock on Ben Simmons? At least we get aggressive Ben Simmons.
I think the problem with this theory is, though, and if I ever cut this up, I'll never include this, is does Ben Simmons, he's going to retain his skill set. And so it's like him going up for dunks or even threes. Like, what does that actually do aside from increase the number of misses his team has?
That's why I have to see it. That's
why
I have to see it.
I think that's the answer too, out of pure curiosity. But I would argue that the Ja Morant who thinks he's Ben Simmons on defense might be the better player.
He might be the MVP if he was. That's better, but I don't know if that's more interesting.
Okay, who is the most random active NBA player, non-star, non-household name that you love watching?
Oh wow. Non-star, non-household name that I love watching. Oh, that, like, what's the stand? Can he be a starter? Does it have to be like really
anybody? Just random casual fan might not know who they are or isn't watching them a ton. Your siren song, so to speak.
I don't know if this is if I had time to think about it, if I'd say this, but Jason Tate.
This game is you do not have time to think about
it. I'm not thinking about it. Jason Tate comes to mind because one, he plays incredibly hard. He's a weird player. He's super aggressive, and he's also like he's like gets the most out of his abilities just by like always being the guy that's trying the hardest, and so that's like always fun to see. And he's just kind of like a bowling ball too. That's fun. That's the first one that comes to mind. Do you have one? Because I'd like to think about it.
The way I did this is after I wrote it, I jotted down the first name to try and make it. It's obviously different because this was floating around my head to put it on paper. Isaiah Joe.
Yeah.
Just like flying around the court, but on defense too. Like, and even on offense, he'll set screens when he's not shooting and he'll try and move really quickly with the ball. But then on defense, like, I wouldn't say he's a great defender, but like he works his butt off, and it's not the empty calories hustle that you see where it's like, oh, he got the spirit, but has no idea what he's doing. He's such a workhorse, and defending him must be exhausting because I get tired watching him.
Yeah.
Like my heart rate elevates.
That's a good one. And I know we've talked a lot about Isaiah Joe the last couple episodes. Also Gary Payton II. That's another one for me. Like he's not a household name, but like he's guaranteed to get a deflection or like a sneaky steal or like a baseline cut for a dunk, or he'll block Wembanyama, or who did he get? He got somebody else. God damn it. Who was it? He's always good for like a block on a taller player. That he's a 6'3" power forward that like just doesn't know he's 6'3". That's one for me.
And I can't quit. This is how much we're in our basketball silo. Is Peyton Watson was another name, but I thought that was too householdy. It doesn't always, the end game or the end destination isn't always great, but you also never know where the end destination is headed when watching him. Offense, defense, on the ball, off the ball. He's like the equivalent of the human exclamation point, even when you're down by 20.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't make sense.
Gosh, we could do a whole episode on this, just thinking of guys that
We
don't
should
get
do
it.
so. One, if anyone's actually watched or listened this far, let us know. YouTube comments, Discord, wherever. Who is the player you can't quit? Just can't quit watching. Love to watch. That's not, sort of. He could be the sixth best player on his. Like Isaiah Joe might be the fifth best player on the Thunder this season. So he could be that good, but they're not. They're not J Dub. They're not Shea. They're not Chet Holmgren. Just someone who, like, in that vein, let us know. And we can maybe even do submissions where we'll throw it to our Discord members, and I could throw it on Twitter too. Or maybe we could do an episode and respond, but like, who's your favorite player to watch that's not a household name?
Yeah, that's a great question. We really could do an episode on that. That's a good one.
So the rest of this, but I have a bunch. So you might think that we're close to the end because these are quick, but I have a 50-point scoring theme, and I framed it in a bunch of different ways.
Okay.
So we're going to start. There are 10 either ors here. Who has more career 50-point games in the playoffs and regular season combined?
Ooh.
Steph Curry or Allen Iverson?
I'm going to say Allen Iverson.
That is correct. 14-13. Kobe Bryant or James Harden?
Harden had so many big scoring games in the MVP year. I'm still going to say Kobe.
That is correct. 26-23. LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
Jordan.
It's not even close. 39-15, Jordan. I just want to see if I could trip you up there with LeBron's longevity. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Giannis Antetokounmpo?
Ooh. I think it's got to be Kareem.
4-4, 10-8. Carmelo Anthony or Hakeem Olajuwon?
I'm going to go Melo.
5-5, 4-2. Kevin Durant or Damian Lillard?
Dame.
Correct. 17-10. It's not even close.
That's surprising.
Patrick Ewing or Tim Duncan?
Ewing.
2-1. That is correct. 7 of 7. Can you sweep? Bernard King or Jerry West?
Bernard King.
8-7. You are correct. Ray Allen or Paul Pierce?
Pierce.
That is incorrect. Ray Allen had 2. Paul Pierce had 1.
Oh.
Charles Barkley or Karl Anthony Towns?
Barkley.
Nope. Karl Anthony Towns.
Ooh.
2-1 again.
Closing on a downturn. That's
okay. So this is going to be, we have 4 of these. Which NBA player has the most career 50-point games in the regular season and playoffs from this group? Jimmy Butler, Jamal Crawford, Shaquille O'Neal, Dwayne Wade.
Shaq.
That is incorrect. Jamal Crawford has more 50-point games in the regular season and playoffs than all 3 of those dudes.
Do you have how many?
He has 4. Everyone else had 3.
Shaq has 3 50-point games career
in the regular season and playoffs, unless I got it wrong.
Overrated.
I'll double check that afterwards, but
what a bum.
Did you say what a bum? Okay. Which NBA player has the most career 50-point games in the regular season and playoffs? Devin Booker, Joel Embiid, Kyrie Irving, Jason Tatum.
I'm going to go. Embiid doesn't get the. I'm going to say Devin Booker.
That is incorrect. Joel Embiid and Devin Booker have 5. Jason Tatum has 7. Kyrie has 6. Tatum is the correct answer.
Tatum's a good playoff pick.
Which NBA player has the most career 50-point games in the regular season and playoffs? Bradley Beal, Luka Doncic, Klay Thompson, Russell Westbrook.
I'll say, who's the first one? Sorry.
Bradley Beal, Luka Doncic, Klay Thompson, Russell Westbrook.
I don't know why I want to say Bradley Beal. It feels like a trick. I'll say Russell Westbrook.
That is correct. I thought he has 6. Bradley Beal has 5, and then Doncic and Klay have 4. I thought you were just gonna. Klay was the only one I think that rivals Russ's playoff sample, and so I thought that you would get Russ on that one. Okay, final one of this. Which NBA player has the most career 50-point games in the regular season and playoffs? Anthony Davis, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, or Donovan Mitchell?
Ooh, I feel like it's one of the last 2. I know they had him in the same series, maybe. I'm going to go Jamal Murray.
That is incorrect. It's Anthony Davis. Oh. He has 5. Nikola Jokic has 2. Murray and Mitchell each have 3.
Oh, AD, good for you.
I was actually, the Like if you told me AD had 5 career 50-point games, that's not gonna be like groundbreaking for me, but that
No.
he had more than Jokic and like I would have picked one of the other 3 for sure. Let me just see. Okay, this is kind of fun. At age 29, excuse me, at age 39 and 20 days, Jamal Crawford is the oldest NBA player on record to score at least 50 points. Who is the second oldest? Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or Karl Malone?
Ooh, did Kobe get 50 in that like shot happy year? Didn't he get it in the last day? I'm gonna say
Which
Kobe.
shot happy year are you talking about?
The last one. When he that game against the Jazz where he took like 40 shots in the season finale. I'll say Kobe. I'm not confident.
That is incorrect. It's Michael Jordan. 38 years old, 315 days.
Oh, he had a Wizards 50? Oh man. Okay.
And Kobe was second, 37 years and 234 days. LeBron is third, 37 years, 71 days. I tried to trick you with Carl, terrible human being Malone, 34 years, 247 days. He was, but you probably just knew that just because he's so high up on the scoring list. I was like, Grant might pick him.
Those were all tough.
So now we're gonna do the inverse. At 20 years and 52 days old, Brandon Jennings is the youngest NBA player on record to score at least 50 points. Who is the second youngest? Devin Booker, Allen Iverson, LeBron James, or Trae Young?
Ooh. Let's see. I think I'm going to say Trae.
That is incorrect. It is LeBron. He did it at 20 years old and 80 days.
20 years. So that would have been his third season? Okay.
Devin Booker was second. He was also 20 years old, but 145 days into his career when he did it. And we still have a couple more. If you thought we were done, I apologize.
I got to get one of these eventually.
Wilt Chamberlain holds the record for the most 50-point games before his 25th birthday with 15. Which player has the second most? Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, or Jason Tatum?
Ooh. Yeah, LeBron's just sitting there. I think I better go Tatum because he's got so much runway before his 25th birthday. I'll go Tatum.
That is incorrect. Oh. It is Michael Jordan with 10. Oh. He had 10. Tatum was last with 6. Kareem and LeBron each had 8.
Okay.
Now, this is the final one, which I don't feel bad for giving you anymore.
Because of what I've done to you.
Yeah. 6 active NBA players dropped 50 or more points at least 3 times before their 25th birthday. How many of the 6 can you name? I will give you 3 strikes.
Ooh, okay. Well, it's one of them has to be LeBron based on the previous questions we've done.
1 of 1.
Devin Booker.
2 of 2.
This 3 50-point games before turning 25 or by their 25th birthday.
Before they're under the age of 25.
I want to say Trae Young.
That is incorrect. Strike 1.
All right. Tatum.
3 of 6 so far.
I'm trying to think of all the other guys we've named. These are active that have multiple 50s before they're 25. How about Ja Morant?
Incorrect. Strike 2.
Ooh. I'd like to get at least one more before I strike out. Who am I? Kevin Durant.
That is incorrect. Strike 3.
What? Then I have no better guesses.
So so it's LeBron James had 8. Jason Tatum had 6. Luka Doncic had 5.
Oh, I'm an
Devin
idiot.
Booker had 3. Anthony Davis had 3. Jamal Murray had 3.
So I needed Murray, Luka, and AD. Man.
I'm actually, the fact that I'm not impressed because I thought that you should have gotten Doncic.
Yeah, I should have got Luka for sure. Yeah.
And you did. So you got LeBron, Booker, and Tatum.
Yeah.
The one you got. I didn't expect you to get Davis or Murray, to be honest with you.
No, Davis has flummoxed me a couple times here. I just do not think of him as a 50-point guy, but clearly that's wrong.
And by the way, I double checked the Shaq thing. It says, unless I'm going to actually link you in the private chat we have so you could double check it because I don't want to cut the run.
I believe you. It's just
when I saw it was 3, I was like, but it was 3.
Unbelievable. I distinctly remember Shaquille O'Neal in the like 99-2000 fantasy season, back when I used to play fantasy basketball, just being like a cheat code, because he would have these monster nights, but because it was 20 plus years ago, a monster night was like 28 points, 14 rebounds, 8 assists, which is like Jokic's averages basically now. Yeah, look at that. All right, you're correct. I believe you. I'm looking at
This was a lot of fun. If you guys enjoy this episode, Discord members, YouTube users, share it, tell people about it, like it, comment, do lots of things so we can continue spending way too much time coming up with these. Because I spent way too much time coming up with my, like, the whole, it sounds easy, but like asking you, is Chet Holmgren with LeBron strength or Victor Wembanyama with Kyrie, like that takes me a minute to like, well, let me come up with something compelling enough, because ESPN did one the other day where it was would you rather have Wembanyama with Steph shooting or like Steph with Wembanyama's size? And I was kind of like, it's almost like sort of the same deal. So like, you want to come up with something that's an easier whatever, or not easier, but a harder thing to choose.
I continue to marvel at your creative resourcefulness and coming up with Tyrese, Joel Embiid with Tyrese Maxey's speed. Just
I was gonna go with the Aaron Fox, but then I was like, you know what? Tyrese Maxey's on.
He's right there. You got to just pick Maxey. I mean, like logistically, if you were gonna figure out how to do this, you'd use teammates, because you could just splice them together in the locker room somehow.
And it was better to do it. Obviously, I had the one where it was, John Morant thinks he's Ben Simmons thinks he's John Morant. But it's funny when it's just not related, where it's like we had 4 separate players involved in a couple of them, and you had to think,
like, what if Luka
we did find my creative and multitasking limits. That I hope people at least enjoyed the concept of the underpaid draft. That was rough segment for me. I was struggling trying to so many balls in the air for that one.
You hit it well. We need a signal for when I need to just vamp for longer. Like twirl your hat around or something so I can.
Whenever it's after 1 a.m. Eastern time, you need to vamp.
I know you. This is your prime productive hours. It's oh my God, it's so late for me. I should have been asleep over an hour ago.
Yeah, this was. I thought we were going to be done in. Well, people aren't going to care because this is going live on Monday. But like, we just recorded for basically 4 hours.
Yeah,
over 3. We talked for about 40 minutes beforehand. So
no regrets. I regret nothing.
Do you want to take us out here?
Yeah, I guess it's goddamn time to take us out. Take me out to sleep. Thanks everybody for listening, for watching, for participating. If you would like to do more of that, join our Discord. The link's in the YouTube and podcast description. Buy some merch if you want to support us. The best way to support us and help grow the podcast, as always, is wherever you're consuming this, give it 5 stars, rate it highly, give a positive comment, review it. Just, make sure you're heard on the topic of what we're putting out there, and say and do good things about it. That helps grow the audience, grow everything, give us more opportunities to do cool stuff. So if you've already done that, great. Create a fake account and do it again. And then several other times would be good. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. As always, we close with a shout out to the one and only Frank Ntilikina and an apology to Jared Allen.